Welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. I'm your host, Scott Minton. Today we are visiting with the Northern Kentucky Cincy Juice Club, and we are at Prohibition Craft Spirits with one of the, proprietor's son, Mr. Chase Hazelbaker.
What's up?
So we are visiting, and we are talking with Miss Rebekah Sue. She is from
the Bourbon Daily Neeley Family Distillery.
And the Neeley family, the most recent member of the Neeley family distillery.
I'm the newest one.
The newest addition.
The newest addition to the Neeley family.
Congrats.
Thank you, sir.
She just married Mr. Royce Neeley, which is the master distiller at Royce Neeley.
Clearly a big upgrade on the Neeley family.
I'm helping them out. I
don't know. Royce might have married up. I mean, look at Rebekah. I mean, no offense to Royce. I mean, but Miss Rebekah Sue's she's doing okay for herself.
He did a fine job.
Absolutely. I think
he's lucky I chose him.
Absolutely. I don't disagree.
Amen.
And then we got Mr. Jeff. Jeff is. Are you the president or one of the founding members of the Juice Club?
My title now is admin, but
admin.
Too humble. This guy runs all the bars in Covington.
No.
He does.
We just like to have a good time and share good bourbon with friends.
We call Jeff the supreme ruler of all Northern Kentucky and Cincinnati.
And then we got Mr. Jacob. Oh, he's going to go by Jake today. How's it going, Jake?
Hey, good. I'm Jake Youst. I'm on the board of directors for Bourbon Charity and on Instagram as the Tipsy Barkeep.
Can we call you Jake the Snake and have a wrestling moment?
That's what my grandpa calls me, so let's do it.
Hot damn. I love it. So hey, first of all, you all were kind enough to let me join you guys for what you all deemed as your barrel pick for here for Prohibition Craft Spirits, which is Nulu bourbon, and we went through 5 barrels today. I think they were, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, we're going to go with, I think it was 29 or 27, and then it was 39, 41, 51, and 52.
Spot on, sir.
Yep.
Hot damn, look at me.
Wow.
Got them all wrote down.
No notes. So
congratulations.
Memory's pretty solid there as far as that goes.
You must have drank less than us.
I don't know that I drink less because I've had quite a bit. I dropped a Glencairn. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I think someone's bleeding. I think there's an ambulance on the way right now.
He's a chef.
To Prohibition. But everything's fine.
With all fairness, I've been on about 7 picks right now, and I've dropped a drink Glencairn on at least 2 of them. So I don't know if I'm just clumsy or
it's your thing at this point. You just need to keep hurting people.
Absolutely. So the first one I actually didn't hurt anybody, but it is what it is. So
you're upping your game.
Absolutely. So if you don't mind, I don't know who wants to lead off, but do you want to walk through the barrels, what you thought about them, and then what you thought about the overall experience here at Prohibition Craft Spirits? I'm okay with whoever takes the lead. I just want to kind of go with it. It looks like Mr. Jeff is getting the lead on this thing.
I can tell you where we start. So
El Jefe.
No, this is our second trip down here, and a fantastic experience. It's great. It's obviously a smaller environment. You're not at a big distillery that's just caught up and crazy with the names, and it's close and personal, and we can discuss, go through, and really enjoy tasting the barrels. So we had 5 today. We ended up picking number 5 as a group. It was there are 8 of us tasting, and 5
barrel 41.
5 of us picked it first. So I won't say unanimous, but the clear-cut winner. The other 3 had it second. So it's a little sweet, soft up front. Mid-palate's nice and oily, but it's got a finish for days. I think, to me, that's sort of what stood out. And
so I was not actually part of the barrel pick, obviously, because I was sitting off to the side, and 41 was the one that immediately popped out at me. And Chase was kind of weird because Chase, he's like, I'm not a big fan of this barrel originally. And then I was like, dude, you need to revisit that thing. Because when I tried it, I was like the exact same thought process as you, Jeff, as far as like it had a great start, the nice oily finish, nice oily middle, and then the finish was just strong. It just gave you that nice like high rye.
Yeah,
you can really
solid.
Get those the
was
mint and the pepper.
It's 7.
It's their 21% rye,
4 barley, 75 corn. 75 corn. It's from MGP.
Okay. Yeah,
they're 4-year, 9-month.
Oh,
and this one,
nice.
This one's out at 118.7 proof.
Yep.
It was just absolutely delicious. We had one other one that was a little better on the nose.
You liked 4.
Well, I liked 5
27. You liked 5 the best.
Out.
Yeah, the nose on number
4.
4, which was barrel 27, I believe.
Yep.
And that one was absolutely delicious. The nose was incredible. I had that at a close second, But the palate and the finish on our 5th barrel, which was the one that we picked, was just incredible. The finish went on for forever. It had a nice buttery kind of buttery cherry cinnamon palate, and it was incredible. That was a standout, absolutely.
I totally agree with you. That was one of the things that really, really stuck out when I tried that barrel. You had some cherry pop on it, which oddly enough is kind of very similar to the cherry pop that we picked on one of the barrels that we picked at somebody else. But then also it just had that really, really smooth, like heavy viscosity, that buttery notes that hit it really, really, really well.
See, I had myself and I don't know who's next to me. He's got the brown hair, long, flowy. He's a dad.
Kevin.
Is that his
Kevin.
name? Kevin.
Kevin and me like 3.
I liked 3 also.
51
I
was
was
just
in love with
candy.
3. I thought I got some mango on it.
Yes.
Some like candy, like
Total
just, like,
tropical fruit,
I
maple
loved
syrup, brown sugar.
Yeah, I loved 3. He loved 3. But also, it was a fight we weren't going to win. We already knew that. But
that finish on 5, like it's light, easy, buttery. The mid palate's great, but then that finish, it just keeps hitting your tongue and stays there forever.
So it sounds like I was in the top 2 because 41 was my favorite, 51 was my second favorite.
Yeah.
So that's
I
crazy.
loved 3.
3 was
Absolutely.
delicious
51.
as well.
It's amazing how different they can be. The first
Yeah.
3, the first 2 for me just had a young taste and just
Too young.
stood out. Just a completely different taste profile
Yeah.
compared to the latter 3, and then 4 and 5 just really brought it home.
The nose on one I thought was amazing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too. There's so many like that where the nose is fantastic, and then you taste it, and it just doesn't match
It
up.
just
with
fell
the nose.
flat.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
well, that's what blending's for.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to find like 27 and 39. Harrison, me, and I mean, while we're doing that pick with y'all, that's what's fun is we find what barrels we're gonna blend in these picks. It's like, oh, those 2, you blend those together. I mean, even you guys, Kevin, and you all. He was like, if you smell this one and
Yeah,
taste
you
this
shove
one,
your nose in one and then you're tasting the other. I mean, that's about the same as blending, but also a little bit more fun way to do it because it's a little obnoxious. But I mean, those 2 together were great. But I mean, they were all delicious. But yeah, like 1 and 2 at first were just like, meh.
Well, and something I found really interesting with the tasting notes was that we were here a month ago picking a barrel, and we picked a killer short barrel last time we were here. And when we're going through these different barrels, one of the things that stood out the most was that they're all getting a big note on the nose and palate of like banana nut bread and cinnamon, and it was very dessert-like. Well, this time I was getting on a lot of them this like really light bubblegum note, and still, rainier cherry, and I'm still getting a little bit of that banana bread and cinnamon, but it wasn't as profound as it was the last time. So it's been interesting to see how over the past month, the flavors of these barrels have changed a little bit. And again, we weren't tasting the same barrels as we were last time, but as a consensus from the 21% rye MGP mash bill, a lot of them do have this, that we've tasted, have had this cinnamon banana bread flavor, and it's just developed and evolved a little bit over the past month. So that's been really cool to see.
So crazy to me how you put those flavors to
right,
it.
dude,
I mean,
so deep.
I just taste it. It's either good or it's
Yeah.
bad. I like it or I don't. It's sweet. It's spicy, and let's go. I'm hilarious.
I'm very similar to Jeff as far as my tasting. So I'm like,
You either
ooh, this
like
is
it or you
sweet.
don't.
Well, but like I can taste caramels and I can taste vanillas, and I can usually get leather or maybe like
Here's
like a
Jake
pipe
talking
tobacco.
about his like
But yeah, Jake's
grandmother's like
yeah,
banana bread,
Exactly.
like, from when he was like playing on the swing and he smelled some like grass, and like it was like on the windowsill. Yeah, Jake.
But,
I got
but
a
when
lot
you
of-
drink with Jake, it's like he can take
He
you on
gets
that
it right.
journey, man. Like
He gets
it's
it right.
your mind totally goes
Yeah.
there. You're like cherry blossom, brown sugar, and
sure.
cinnamon. Oh, wow, man, you totally took my mind there. That's
He's not
incredible.
wrong.
I appreciate that, and it's something too that. So I do reviews for a couple different websites and groups, and I get people that comment on things saying like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." There's no way that you're pulling marzipan. That's like the biggest complaint is always marzipan. But there's no way you're pulling this note and this note, and it's the hardest thing is being able to match.
Everybody
a note.
tastes something different.
So
Can we
I
just
encourage
agree
disagreement.
that most people have never even tasted marzipan,
I was
so
about
they
to
have
say-
no idea what marzipan tastes like?
Right.
If you've had marzipan, you know that taste,
mean-
but also like who has actually had marzipan?
And
Like, have you been to Germany before? Have you actually had it?
I lived in
Like,
Spain
you're-
for a while,
like,
and in Madrid, marzipan is a
you
massive
have
thing.
been, but like half these people are like, you don't even know what marzipan is. Have you had marzipan?
Right, and the
Like,
the hardest thing is being able to match a flavor of a whiskey to a word. So like
Yeah.
being able to like when I tried 2014 GTS, I tasted what was Moroccan dates, specifically fresh Moroccan dates. But I was able to pair that because I just got back from Morocco and I had these fresh dates in Morocco, and it was spot on to that flavor. So people say, "Oh, that's just ridiculous. There's no way that you're just pulling this out.
You're pulling it out of your ass,
out of your
right?
ass."
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if I could say
So
that.
no, absolutely no. We are not PG, or we are definitely rated. I guess
Shit, yeah.
for
NC-17.
Fuck yes.
Okay, well,
That's what I like to say.
but so like I tell you, so it's weird. So like my first visit to Switzerland, we tried speculoos for the first time.
Yeah.
So I immediately came back, and we were drinking a lot of bourbon. We were having a conversation, and we went to Bardstown Bourbon Company, and we tried one of the actual Lux Row products, not the actual Bardstown Bourbon Company, but the actual Lux Row thing. And I was like, damn, this tastes a little bit like speculoos, like that sugary cookie with a little bit of like ginger flavor to it. And people are like, what the fuck is speculoos? And I'm like, it's just something I tried whenever I was in Switzerland. It was basically, and if you don't know what speculoos is, it's basically peanut butter, or I guess a bit better would be what's the hazelnut spread? Nutella. So it's Nutella,
Trademark.
but it's basically like gingerbread cookies that's made into a spread. So it's really weird whenever you try certain things like what you're talking about, that really it will trigger a memory in your mind. So tasting, I think, is a lot of that. But I always respect people that always are able to pull in like flavors that maybe I don't necessarily think about whenever I'm drinking something. So it's impressive, Jake, whenever you see somebody that's got a palate that works like that.
The only reason anyone gets upset about someone giving off real flavor, like tasting notes like that, is because they can't identify it.
Right.
And so if someone actually gets mad, it's because they, well, I don't want to say they suck, but they kind of fucking suck, and so they can't get
Show those people that
same
suck.
notes. And so
I don't want to say they
they're-
suck, but they kind of suck.
Yeah, they kind of fucking suck. And so they're like, whatever. Jake is like, what? He doesn't know what he's talking about. No, you don't know what you're talking about. All you taste is cinnamon. All you taste is like, you're like, it tastes good. Which I think I made fun of someone, maybe you earlier.
Me?
I think I made fun of you, Chase, earlier about like, it's good. No, actually, no, it was Kevin. I made fun of Kevin. He said, it's good. And I'm like, wow, you should write a blog.
Well, and what kind of messes with it too is when we have these websites that are giving reviews on things, and everything is a 92. I'm not going to name names, but like everything at least scores a 92, and they're saying I have this note and this note and this note. But when you're having something that is just complete shit, like just absolute liquid
doesn't
shit,
score a 92.
and it scores a 92, and they're giving tasting notes, that automatically starts dissipating your trust in reviews. And that's why for the two places that I review for, we pride ourselves on being like, hey, this is shit, and we'll review it, and we'll say it's shit, or hey, this is really good, and this is why it's really good.
Have you reviewed the Backsetter Rye or Bourbon?
I don't remember it. I have to look again, but
I'd be curious to see what you say about those.
yeah, I mean, I have no issue. I will, if there's something that I think is just disgusting and I have to drain pour afterwards because I want to save my liver the trouble of metabolizing it, I will put that in my review, and I don't care. And
But the best part about that is that's you. You might taste something that you think's a drain pour, and someone's going to love it.
Exactly.
I mean,
So-
That's the fun
Exactly.
thing about
So
palates.
I'm right on there with you, Jeff. So
Amen.
when I look at certain things, when I drink it, I'm way different than a lot of my buddies. Like, I hate scotch. Like, I cannot drink peaty stuff. Like, when I drink peaty, scotch, things like that,
Yeah, not
it
a
immediately turns my stomach. It makes my... But I know lots of dudes that love scotch. And, like, one of my business partners, Matt, in this podcast, Matt loves scotch. But, like, we sat with the gentleman from... Single Cast Nation. So we sat with Josh and Jason. We had a great conversation with those
Good guys.
guys,
Good guys.
and they're excellent dudes. But like Matt poured me like 3 or 4 of their different Scotch blends. I was like, raw. Like I just
But that doesn't mean it's not good. It's
no,
just
it
not
doesn't.
good for
It's
you.
just
So
not my taste.
For me, when I drink stuff that maybe I don't like, I don't say it's gross or it's no good. It's just not for me. There's so many good bourbons out there. Listen, I'm a Four Roses snob, and I talk to people.
Me
They're
too.
like, ugh, I hate Four Roses, and I'm like, you don't hate it. It's garbage. I'm like, it's not garbage. You just don't like it. That doesn't mean it's not good whiskey. Everybody likes something different. That's the beauty in it. And just because, no offense to you, Jake, you say, oh, this one's no good. Someone out there likes it. They bottle it. It's on shelves.
Exactly.
It sells somewhere.
I
If
agree.
it doesn't sell, it wouldn't be out there anymore. There's 800 different kinds out there, and someone likes it, and that's why it's out
Yeah.
there. So it's just different for everybody. It's just for me. I have a hard time with that. I don't say, oh, it's no good or it's garbage. I don't care for it. That's kind of how.
And that's why when people disagree with my reviews and they say, "Hey, I completely disagree,"
for them that's cool.
And the reason that they're disagreeing is because they have had it and they think something else. I encourage that. I want
great.
disagreement. That's fantastic because they're trying it and they're formulating their own opinions. Now, when it's something where they haven't had it before and they're saying, "Oh, that's ridiculous," that's I don't agree with that at all. But if someone's saying, "Hey, I've had this and I think this," awesome. You're forming your own opinion.
The first thing I do when I do tastings is I inform people. I go, listen, we've got a lot of different things we're tasting here today, and you might not like everything. You might think everything's gross, and that's fine. If you don't like something, it's okay because everyone's palate's different, and if you want to hate something, it's fine for you to not drink it. You can just go ahead, throw it out.
Well, that's what's cool about this industry is like, I may not appreciate your art, but there's a group of people that appreciate what you did, the time you spent to make it. And that's what's cool. Some of those whiskey reviewers, I mean, they can't hate on whiskey because there's just some whiskeys that are better than others, you know? It's just the mindset you go into it.
Yeah, I mean, the fun thing is that like palettes exist, and like everyone's palate. Ooh, there was something dropped. The fun thing is that like everyone's palate. Nice cork pop.
Beautiful. Into the mic.
Everyone's palate's gonna be different, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's some things that I absolutely love. I love incredibly peaty Scotch where I smell like that Scotch for literally 3 days after I've drank it. I had a now obviously ex-boyfriend.
How many cigars do you smoke?
I used to smoke a lot of them. I don't anymore, but I still love my peaty Scotch. I had an ex-boyfriend, obviously now, walk into his apartment
Miss Neeley.
and he walked in and goes, "Oh my God, what is that smell?" And I go, "I don't know. There's nothing going on." And he walks up, he goes, "It's like by you." And I go, "Oh, it's Lagavulin, 16 year." And he's like, "It's disgusting." And I'm like, "Well, you're disgusting." So
that's why he's your ex.
Yeah, and that's why he's my ex-boyfriend because
Right.
I mean, he couldn't even appreciate the fact that I smell like Scotch for 3 days straight.
Right. Or for that matter, what you consider good Scotch, right?
Amazing Scotch. I love that Lagavulin.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I love
and
it.
Like Ardbeg Ugadal, that one is my absolute favorite.
That's
You
one of the
love
best.
Ardbeg?
I love Ardbeg.
Ugadal?
Yes, Ugadal and Corey Brecken.
God,
Those
I
are
never
fantastic.
find anyone who's
What
ever
are
actually
you talking
tried it.
about?
It is so good.
I'm completely lost
It's
right
okay.
now.
You guys
Is that
can
from
be
MGP?
Lost.
Can I get some barrels of it?
Yeah, it's not. But it is. It's one of my favorite peaty scotches that you reek like. I say moss. Some people just say tennis balls.
So you all can correct me if you want, but
We will.
The peaty Scotch that's northern Scotland, right? That's not the southern.
I believe is the
Or is it Voss?
now I'm probably wrong about this, but I believe it's the southwest. It's in the
So
Isles
it's
of
the southern
Islay.
portion.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
Islay.
island. Okay.
Take a stab in the
Yeah.
dark, but
Do we know where that is? Not really.
Couldn't
really.
tell you one thing about Scotch
We
other
just know-
than I don't care for it.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
It's just not my thing. I love the sweet caramel, vanilla, bourbon flavors, and you just don't get that in Scotch. The peat
give me
takes
your
it over for me.
corn, your
I have a
rye,
bad
wheat.
confession to
Yeah,
make here.
can't
Is
do
that
it.
I actually, prior to being into bourbon, I had sat down and I've had many arguments with my bourbon friends about why Scotch is better. And
Do you still feel that way?
I can't say that out loud now how I feel about it because of the fact that I'm married to a bourbon distiller and I get to make the bourbon itself. I have a bigger appreciation for bourbon now than I did prior. But
Hasn't his family been in this for a while?
oh yeah,
Very
well
long.
they're making moonshine for 11 generations.
And this is like the first generation of like the legitimate side of business.
Oh yes,
Isn't that cool though? Like
It's-
he's got the heritage. He's in, you're
It's insane.
Kentucky, Indiana, wherever, it's just the heritage of this
It's
whole industry
absolutely
is so
insane.
Because he's
awesome.
literally
Yeah.
a stone's throw from MGP, which is one of the largest
Yeah.
distillers in the country.
Yeah,
I buy
mean,
their barrels. I mean,
They've been,
we do.
they were up in Eastern Kentucky moonshining, and let's just say there was a lot of gunfights with, cops and or other moonshiners.
Yeah. So in our tour, we talk about stuff like that, and our distiller was, I guess.
Have you guys been to see us?
No, we haven't.
I
Why?
have.
I just don't get to Indiana very often.
We're not in.
They're not in Indiana.
We're
They're
in
in- I'm
Sparta,
sorry.
Kentucky.
They're in Sparta, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yes.
I need to
We're
make it.
45 minutes from you.
Next time I'm going up to
If you're going to
Northern
Cincinnati,
Kentucky, I will make
you
a stop.
should anyways. Because
Honestly-
all of
But this is your first time here.
Yeah,
I mean, we got moonshiners. Harrison, our distiller, he's been moonshining he started this in like 2015, 16, and he had 6 years of moonshining experience, and now it's like,
we've
10
been,
years? One generation?
Neeley's himself have been making moonshine for 11 generations. Someone is,
Apologies, that was me.
He's moving the mic in. It's all
yeah,
good.
we've
I-
got
I'm
11
taking care of
generations
barrel
of
things.
moonshine,
And it's fantastic.
and it's really good moonshine.
Yeah.
And,
I've had the privilege of tasting some of the family select, and it's
Absolutely.
just fantastic.
Royce does a phenomenal job with his stuff, and I'll be honest with you, he's the first distiller that I've actually went to their area, and then I talked to Roy, with all fairness, so I didn't get a chance to talk to Royce, but that double thumping process that they do,
But aren't they taking that up a notch to triple?
Yeah.
It
And then
really just
triple pot distillation is the way to do everything, because you're cutting out all the bad shit, everything that's
So do you
horrible.
guys taste the heads and tails every 3
Yes.
runs? So what is
Every
that
single
double?
one.
Is triple
It's triple.
thumping?
Yeah.
Is that what that? Okay, cool. That's
So, yeah, and I like to reiterate to people that if you're doing that, you're getting out everything that's giving you headaches.
well.
for
When you
one
do it
thing.
by taste, the methanol. If you get methanol out, you won't have a hangover. You won't have a headache. So like with our vodka, Phoenix Hill vodka, shameless plug, we distill it 8 times. And Harrison, God love his palate because it's cooked. He's tasting, the heads and tails. It's all hearts. If you do 3, 4, every time you distill it again, you're going to get more heads and tails, but you're getting it from hearts from the last distillation.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you're just getting to the pure ethanol. And when you throw that in a barrel, you get something so special that I don't know if these big guys can do that.
No, they can't. If you're using they really can't. In my opinion. But if you're cutting out all that bullshit too, and we triple pot distill every single product that we have on site. Like it's not just like
Did
we're
you say
only
you have
doing
a
our bourbon.
column?
No, we have
No, they have
triple.
a
We have
pot
triple
still.
pot distills. We only pot
Because
distill.
the column would clean it up, and you want it.
Wow.
You want bourbon dirty. You want to taste the grains and let them do their thing.
The column will just get rid of all flavors in general, and then
Right.
you're just working with what the barrel's giving you. If you taste our white dog, and I think I gave Jeff a taste of the white dog the last time you were at the distillery.
Yep. Top notch.
It's fucking
Just
good.
Clean,
And
good. I was
and
blown
usually-
away by the flavor.
It's insane how good our white dog is. And if your white dog isn't
To
drinkable,
start there,
then why the fuck are you even putting it into a barrel? Like, I get that the barrel's going to clean
because
up
we're
whatever
making
mess you are.
1,400 barrels a day. So
Yeah, and so it's like,
Right.
whatever, it doesn't matter.
Well,
Right.
not
So,
only
like, craft
that.
distillers-
put a good product into your barrel, and then guess what? You're not going to be like. They say that like the first 6 years you're cleaning up what you did the first 6 months, because you're putting crap into the barrel the first 6 months, stuff that isn't clean cut, and you're trying to get rid of all those bad like you're getting rid of the heads.
If that's how you did your business, if you come from moonshining though, those moonshiners, they don't want anything bad, because when you're drinking 180, 190 proof, you'll go blind if you have too much
Whiskey
methanol.
blind.
Right.
It's like you're blackout.
Yeah.
So why do that? And if you do it right, like you said, it's like you don't have to clean up that mess. You can put good white dog that's drinkable day one. And then Drew, I went on a tour with Drew at Willett, and he's like, at 3 years old, you can see where this barrel will be. You can probably see 10 years down the road what this barrel is going to do to this juice. And that's really cool to see, too. It's like, if you put it in a small barrel, you kind of time warp it. If you put it in a full barrel, 2 years into it, it's like, we can't harvest this at 4 years old, because this is going to be so good at 10 years old.
Right.
We can bring stuff like Jeff has had a lot of our stuff already that's at 2-year-old and even younger than 2-year-old. And we bring stuff to maturation before even it becomes straight bourbon, and it tastes good. You had, I don't know which ones you had. I think you may have had Amyl Crackers Ground Rye, maybe.
Run for the Oats.
Run for the Oats, that's what it was.
That's the one
We've
that
had a
stands
lot
out
of
to
them
me.
that are already at a great age, and they're young as shit because of what's going into the barrel initially.
Right. So I'm one of those people that say yes, absolutely. So when you look at people like Royce that are doing it right, they're really, really distilling a super quality product early on. It's very easy to get a good bourbon at 18 or 24 months, things to that nature. But what really, really makes my mind just blown is what the hell is that stuff going to taste like at 6 or 8?
Well, and that's why
or
we've
10
got
years?
all of our 53s. We're not taking out until they're bonded.
Right.
So all the 53s are staying in the big rick house. You know, we got 1,000 barrels on site right now, and all the 53s are staying back in the rick house until they turn 4-year-old. So we got another like year and a half yet to wait on those.
Right.
And so once those turn 4 years old, then we're gonna, you know, start releasing some of them, not all of them. You know, obviously you're making them to age them longer. You've got ones you're like, all right, I'm gonna keep that back. We're gonna keep this one back. We're gonna keep a certain number back.
So hopefully right behind Juice Club, because I'm assuming they're going to be kind of in the forefront of picking one of those barrels.
I have no doubt.
That you'll love BB&T, you know, Bourbon Barrel Talk, come in and do one of those after that.
We
So-
love barrel picks.
Can I come?
Barrel picks are always welcome.
No.
Chase,
Chase is not invited.
Chase can come on my barrel pick.
I've got a direct
here
line,
we go. There we
direct line to Royce. So
You guys realize that if I say no, then you're not allowed, right?
Come on, Reba.
Like I am,
Come
I am
on.
the initial. Like if
if
there's
you say
if
no,
there's
you're
one-
walking home today.
Son of a. It's a yes.
Hey, do you want to pour this
Until I
Willet,
get
Becca? we have some Willet for you,
Yeah,
Becca, if you
we're
would
looking
like.
forward to it. I had a long conversation with Royce about it, and I know they're, you know, whatever their timeline is before he hits 4 years on his full size barrels, about a 6 months, somewhere in that range. I can't wait. You know, I love that they've been doing, you know, there's so many, I'm not knocking anybody's process, but so many distilleries, they're young, they're starting out, and they put out, you know, it's either source stuff or they're putting out gin or vodka, something to keep them afloat. And Royce hasn't gone that route, and their moonshine has been their backbone, and that's what's worked. But to know that he's just been holding out on pulling his stuff at 4 years and not sourcing anybody else's crap, I love that. I have so much
Also-
that
respect
means the
for it.
world to somebody
One-
like
I love
myself
it.
that's a bourbon
Something
brother.
fun that is also going on at Neeley is so obviously like we're making bourbon, we've been making moonshine, but the coolest thing that we have going on, and Jeff tried it also. We've been aging moonshine
Oh my God.
in bourbon barrels.
It was fantastic. It was delicious.
It's
Delicious.
It's-
I was.
it's
I
insane.
never spoke. I didn't get an answer on how long that had been aging. I think you
3
guys said-
years.
oh, I was going to say 2. I thought
we've
you
got
said-
3-year-old moonshine that's been aging, and it's going to be getting put out to the public as Pabst Reserve, I think is what we're calling
Pabst
it.
Reserve.
Nice.
So that's one of the other things I
And it's, I mean, we've got
honestly
all
love
this
about
family
Neeley.
history, and I'm not going to, like, Jeff got to try the aged moonshine. If you've ever had aged moonshine, which most people have not because it's not really a real thing,
What's it aged in?
a bourbon barrel.
What kind of bourbon barrel? Urals?
The initial ones, no.
Okay.
But now, yes.
Cool.
Like, so ones we're making now are in our own bourbon barrels.
So it's cool to see, like, starting a new distillery. It's
Yeah.
like, what do we do now? We have these stills. We got to run them.
Yeah.
What are we going to make? And it's so for us, it was like vodka, gin, rum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we pot stilled rum, blackstrap molasses, and sugar. We got a sugarcane citrus mash for our gin and vodka. But then it's like, okay, we distilled hundreds of gallons of that. What are we going to do now? Like, I guess you start filling barrels, and like we don't have 1,000. We have like 10. So
Hey, 10 is better than 1.
I mean, Royce had 10 at some point.
Yeah,
too.
at
Right.
one point we didn't have any, and it's just been, you know, like what we're doing, and like in all seriousness, if once we do release that aged moonshine, it tastes. It is exactly like mango trail mix.
Yeah, it's just different. It's
so
just,
like
it's another
it is
flavor profile.
it's-
awesome.
are y'all doing any like rum or like we sourced tequila and barrel aged it? Like you got to do some cool stuff. Like try to be the new thing to like
yeah.
have something for people to like because it's they're used to what they buy, and then if you offer them something new like a barrel aged moonshine, like who's doing that? I've never seen it.
I've
You
never
got Old
heard of it.
Right, you got apple pie. Everyone's got apple pie. You got, you know, your barrel aged this or that, but like barrel aged gin, that's coming up. Barrel aged
yeah.
tequila's coming up, but they already
Yeah.
barrel aged tequila. Bourbon barrel aged tequila. Cool. What kind of barrel are you putting it in? OBSK. You got some Four Roses guys that are like, what? You got Four Roses aged tequila? You know, you gotta find some stuff that people can enjoy that's truly good,
For sure.
but different. And that's cool that y'all got a barrel aged moonshine that people can be like, that's shine. But what's the proof going to be bottled at?
I would guess. Well, so our clear gets bottled at 120.2.
Is that off the still, or do y'all add water?
We still cut that down a little bit. It's usually about 138 when it comes off the still.
That's solid. That's a great still.
Yeah,
still proof.
so we're coming off the still right around 138 ish.
Ish.
And
Is that
it's-
pretty consistent?
Yeah, I'd say
Cool.
that like a lot of times I see it, and on occasion, like sometimes you're like, what the hell is
that on
going
pot
on
still?
here? Yeah.
Yeah, it's pot
Okay,
still.
so
And
like
it's
our column still, we can hit like 193 proof. You know, as
yeah.
close to
we
GNS.
we can get high.
Right.
It depends on what we're doing.
It's how you run it, right?
Yeah,
Right.
and-
Harrison, where are you?
I'd say we're running it hot and high. You know, when we're doing, hand sanitizer to get up there in proof, then it was, hot.
Right.
It was run it
Hot fire.
hot and heavy to get it up in proof.
Cook
but-
your hands, not your palate.
Yeah, and so now that we're back to normal operations, it's coming off,
Yeah.
right around like 140-ish, 138, and
Right.
then we're cutting it down, obviously. But
Yes, for the shine.
yeah, for shot.
Is
it's
your bourbon coming off of that too?
Yeah, it's.
Cool.
I'd say they come off about the same.
Because like, what's the threshold? 160. That's the highest you can come off and be a bourbon, right?
I'm
'Cause
not
No.
gonna say.
I think it's
Correct.
legally 138 is
Yeah.
the highest that it can come off, and actually, and you can't enter the barrel higher than
well, you
128.
have to cut it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to cut it, and like cutting it's easy to do
Yeah.
anyways.
a little
So
bit
it
of
can come
reverse
off there.
osmosis water.
Yeah, which is like some RO water, which sounds fancy. It's like it's
Right.
water. You're adding water.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a Culligan?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
You know, it's funny that you say that because that's the
People are always like, "Oh, how do you cut it?" And
Well-
you fucking add water.
Wait, doesn't that make it worse?
No,
Wait,
it makes
water?
it good.
Yeah, dude, I put water in that juice that
But
you're gonna have in
also,
10 years.
I'm gonna say this: I've tasted it off the still directly a lot of times, and I'm like, "Oh man, I want to drink that all the time." And then it's like we cut it down, and I'm like, I'm getting sadder about this because it doesn't taste as strong. Like I could drink White Dog. I like to claim it's the fumes that are making me like White Dog so much. Like I just like have a affection to it now, but. Man, I could drink White Dog all day long.
Oh, that would probably kill me.
It would.
Yeah,
It would kill the normal person.
right.
Yeah.
You said at 138 proof?
Yeah.
So,
and
like-
I'm like, wow, this is
I mean, don't get me wrong. That I love hazmat everything, but and we're sitting right here with something that's 138.1 proof and 139.4 proof, and we're
See?
sipping on it like crazy. But
Yeah.
if it's something that hasn't been aged yet and it's right off the still, I don't know if I would sit down and sip that necessarily.
Try it.
I mean, I believe you. I've had
Try
some
it.
White Dog that has been amazing.
Try it off our stills. Like, come up and see us. I don't know why you haven't. I think that's bullshit, but whatever. Like, it's fine. You hate us.
The
But,
process there is amazing. I will say that. Like I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation with Roy. Of course, Roy's kind of skipped town on us. He was in Vegas with some girl named Rebekah Sue. I don't know who that girl was, but
Sorry, he loves me and does what I ask.
Are you really sorry?
No, I'm not.
no,
sorry
absolutely.
about
She
that.
shouldn't be sorry.
Aren't you
know.
proud that he does what you
I'm
ask?
very proud about that. He goes to Vegas when we want to go to Vegas. We got married in Vegas.
I tell everybody all the time, behind every great man is a better woman.
And I guess that's me. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So,
Allegedly, that's who I am.
allegedly.
Right here.
So
Pulling out the Archer quote.
let's get back a little bit to the barrel pick, you know, as far as what we
Yeah.
looked at, what we tasted, what we tried. So I was a big proponent in 41 right off the bat, you know, but that was like the second or third barrel that I tried. I know that you guys liked 51, so 52 was a really, really different tasting bourbon to me. It was a little young and a little hot, but I tell you what, I'll be honest with you, Chase, I think once that one sits another 3 or 4 months, that's going to be an amazing pour because the nose up front was great, but it was a little young on the front side.
Which number is that? I don't know
So
by
52
barrel
was the
numbers.
very
the
first
one.
one. That was the very first one you tried.
That one needs some time.
Couldn't do it. I can't see.
Needs time to do its
one and
thing.
two for me just had that young flavor profile.
My
that-
boss
Young,
El
young.
Jefe saying number one is like, but yeah, I had the same thing.
We
Go
rolled
ahead.
out number two, Jeff, 39, because it was when we tasted through all these barrels when we get them in. It's like, all right, we got to get a game plan. Like, you can't offer a bad barrel to people because if they pick it, like, that's not okay, you know. So we rolled out 39, and 39, if you give it air, I wrote it all over the sample bottle we pulled when we got the barrel that day. Give this air.
Let it
Once
breathe.
it has air, it breathes. It gets beat up with oxygen, and it's just a beautiful thing. It gets nice and sweet. You know, we rolled out the barrels for you for a reason. 41, I hated, but I was real hungover. Today, 41 is damn good. Y'all picked the best barrel out there, and that's what's cool about a pick. It's like everyone, you guys had 8 people plus all the people that I had come.
There was a lot of opinions on that barrel.
A lot, yeah.
Right, but that one won.
Yeah.
Like across the board, everyone in that room.
It stood out. It
Definitely.
it had the depth and flavor and the complexity that we were
And the
looking
finish
for.
was just
And sometimes you get that with these barrels. I'm not knocking one or two. Again, I don't remember the numbers.
They just
I
need
just know
time,
from how
baby.
we lined them up. Yeah, and they'll
Yes.
get there, and someone will like them differently than the way we did today. But it just comes across with that youth in it, and at something just under 5 years that can happen. We got lucky. The first one we picked, I would have said it was a 7-year barrel when we were here a couple months ago, or I guess a month ago, when we picked that first one. And this
Agreed.
one, same kind of thing. It just didn't have that young flavor to it. It was complex. It was bold. It was good. I think we did a good job today.
the
No.
first barrel we picked. We were kind of all in agreement that there was no way that it was 4 years, 8 months old.
Yeah.
I mean, we all had come to
Mislabeled
agreement
for
that
sure.
it was mislabeled by MGP and that it was much older. I mean, the color on it was
It was
extremely dark.
It was like motor oil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
crazy.
it was 119 something proof, and I mean it was just delicious. And this one today, it was a standout for sure. We
Yep.
had kind of splitting hairs between two for different reasons, but the one today, I mean, the finish just carried it through astronomically. It was amazing.
Yeah,
No,
very happy with
I
it.
agree with you all 100%. The barrels that we tried today were just they were good barrels, but 41 to me just really stood out from the rest of the batch. And I almost got almost like a mint flavor up front, and I don't know if you got that or not, Jake, because it sounds like you're the one that has the more sophisticated palate. I guess I would say it that way rather than
You're not wrong. We're not mad about that. You're
and,
right.
and that's I try to
It's
think of the
Jake.
right word to think about that. But I got a little bit of mint up front, but then I got a lot of caramel and a lot of those brown sugar notes and things to that nature, to where I really felt like that was. But that mid palate that just kind of went across the mid part of your tongue, and then the strong subtle finish that just kind of just went down. I thought it was a great pour overall.
I mean, the thing that really won it for me was the finish. It lasted forever, and yeah, I got those huge caramel notes, some Rainier cherries. I wish I had my notebook in front of me to go back to it, but
Rainier cherries, not
Yeah.
just cherries,
Not
but
just
the
cherries.
Who the hell
It's
picks out
Rainier
Rainier
cherries.
cherries? Yeah.
My Lord.
Get it right. They're from Washington.
These are Southern Rainier cherries.
These are the
specifically
real
from
cherries.
a
This
plot
is
of
what we
land
want.
at grid coordinates 39.5 east. No,
Oh
but
my god! I can't even take it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love it. I could never pull that kind of.
No, absolutely
it's
not.
kind of a pain too, because it's just
Being so good at what you do, it's a pain.
No,
is
I
that
had
what the
to-
problem is? I'm sorry.
I don't
that
think
you
I'm
have
that good.
Such a talent.
I'm not Fred Minnick, but
With all fairness, he's over here talking Russian earlier. He's like Das Vidanya,
the only thing you need to know in Russian is na zdrowie, which means cheers.
Nostrovia.
Yeah, da очень хорошо.
Did that
But-
sound good? Did I sound Russian?
That was actually great.
Nostrovia.
Na zdrowie. Yeah,
Nostrovia.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, check me out. Hey, Chase.
Nostrovia.
Na zdrowie.
Barrel.
Don't like raise it. Just na zdrowie.
Nostrovia.
We're not even
Perfect.
dealing with.
Oтлично.
So what
Cheers.
what does Nostrovia mean?
It directly translates to health, which is cheers.
Nostrovia.
Absolutely, I got that. So Nostrovia.
Na zdrowie.
Look at us.
Nostrovia.
Isn't Nostrovia it's like a 2-piece cheers? It's like Nostrovia, the Brega.
No,
Don't you have to confirm it?
no.
We had this guy.
I like
Gene,
that Jake just shot you down 100%. He's like, no, you're wrong.
I have backstory. It's like his name was Gene Wojnicki, and he said, "You say
Wow.
Nostrovia, the Brega," and that
I
was
think
how
he said,
you
like,
cheers.
Fuck you at the end. I think that's what that means.
Chinga tu madre.
Is that what that means, Jake?
So
Dobrega, that's Ukrainian. That's
telling him to fuck
specifically
himself?
Eastern Ukrainian, but
Is that
no,
what
it
that
means,
was
it
telling
means
you?
like good,
good.
essentially.
So one of
Yeah,
my
Dobrega.
one of my favorite bankers of all time was a Bosnian fella, Dino Musinovic, and Dino was the biggest badass I know. And he's just super cool, super laid back, and I always enjoyed the conversations that I had with Dino. So it's funny that you were speaking Russian over there, and I picked it up right away. And then one of my other buddies, his name is Aaron Robinson. His wife is Russian, and I think she's either from Bosnia or someplace else. It's just funny that you picked that up right away and you were stalking it. I was like, oh my God, dude is really just throwing it out there. So
Russia is a beautiful country with amazing people, and people in the States don't realize that.
Nah.
They would bend over backwards for us as long as you show an ounce of consideration for their culture and language. Any country is like that as well.
Right. Yeah. So I spent a lot of time in Europe, so I 100% agree with you. I think at times, though, parts of Europe, they really kind of are like, damn, Americans are kind of lazy and kind of fat and kind of don't do things.
A lot of people have that stereotype, but it literally is as long as you show.
We are fat.
Well, we are extremely. I mean, oh my God,
Yes.
I work in emergency medicine as well, and I mean, I'd say 85% of non-traumatic codes that I've been on have been from obesity. But anyway, so as long as you show an ounce of consideration for their culture and language and try to, actually learn a couple of words in the language, people will bend over backwards for you because you're not the typical American at this point. I mean, I literally have a tattoo that means a lot of this that we've been talking about, like, synopsed into one thing. It just means people are people. Everyone's the same all over the world, and as long as you show each other respect, you get to understand that and see that in other people.
That's beautiful. So, I love that. So
Fair.
Well, good deal. So let's get this thing finished up by having a couple of, like, I guess, roundtable thoughts on the bottle that we picked, and then if people want to get it, can you all give them a little bit of detail on where they can get it, how they can get it, things like that? Because I know there's a handful of bottles that are left, and you guys have been super cool about letting me come on and enjoying the barrel pick with you guys through the process and things like that. So, Chase, I'm going to let you start since you are the PCS guy here, and we're going to let you say, hey, what is it about number 41 that you loved? And then we're going to go to Jake, then we're going to go to Mr. El Jefe Jeff, and then Miss Rebekah Sue. We're going to let you bring it up the rear.
You got it.
Take it home.
Take
And then
me
let us
home.
know. And then if somebody can at some point just say, hey, where can you get the bottle?
I got it.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about the Juice Club.
Some of the bottles.
And if folks want to join the NKY Cincy Juice Club, how do they do that and all that type of stuff?
They can't live in Louisville.
So
damn, that's savage.
the sad part.
I live in Southern Louisiana. Does that count?
We're a local group. We
Yikes.
sadly we base ourselves on about a 25-mile radius from where the Reds.
We were the worst
claim
people
to
to
play
have
baseball.
on a podcast.
Gosh.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Savage.
we keep it local. We
You
don't
should
do
delete
it
this
shipping,
entire
so,
thing. Trash it.
So
we'll see what we can do.
if
All
you
right,
live
Chase.
in Louisville and you want to get a little taste of the Juice Club's juice, come down to Prohibition Bar, 436 Baxter Avenue. We'll have maybe like 20, 30 bottles of this barrel. Won't last long because some guys were on this pick and they're going to buy some bottles. And, I think they're taking the majority of the barrel. But 41 is great. Nice and easy. A little spice, a little heat. Nice and buttery, oily. Almost sweet, but really funky. But then as it finishes, it just keeps hitting you and it stays on your tongue. As you continue to sip, it builds up. It's just a great barrel.
Wow, we can all just shut the fuck up after that. I mean,
mean,
you might as well close it out on that. Jesus Christ, I've got nothing.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Holy
Jeff.
shit.
Well, so
Drop the tasting notes for us, brother.
I'm Jake. Hi.
That's what I said, Jake, didn't I?
Yeah, you said Jake. Totally.
My bad. Did I say Jeff?
You said Jeff.
It's
My bad,
Jeff, Jake,
Jake, drop
whatever.
the tasting
Same
notes
thing.
for us.
So
His will be a little different than mine.
no, yeah. I mean, I don't have my notes right in front of me. I'd have
Is
to
there
look at
cherry
them again,
blossom
but-
in your notes?
Yeah, I got I got that
mine.
buttery kind of funky Rainier cherry notes on this. It's absolutely delicious. It's amazing. But so what I love you too, Chase. But what we did for this barrel is we'd already picked a barrel and we pre-sold a certain amount. There's going to be a few bottles left over that they're selling out of the gift shop here at Prohibition Craft Spirits in Louisville. And we also picked a barrel for Bourbon Charity, which is going to be going towards multiple different charities. We're a 501c3 that is going to be sold out of the gift shop here at Prohibition Craft Spirits. It's an entire barrel, short barrel, just absolutely delicious. And the bottles that we have left over from the pick that we just did are going to be being sold alongside of this entire barrel for Bourbon Charity. So if you guys want to come down to Prohibition Craft Spirits and pick those up, you will not be disappointed. I can guarantee you. I mean, who is disappointed with MGP? Nobody. So yeah, it's delicious stuff, and yeah, stop on by. It's great.
Jeff El Jefe.
Yes, sir. So we, like Jake said, we took about, I guess we're going to take probably about 3/4 of this barrel. We're a group of 1,850 we're at right about now, all local to northern Kentucky, bunch of bourbon lovers. You know, the thing that I'm most proud about the group, we sell bottles, trade bottles, tastings, we get together, we do all kinds of different things. It's really a brotherhood of guys, and that's what's really been the best and most important part outside of all the bourbon. But at the end of the day, we push and drive fundraising efforts. And so I've been in the group now since 2016. It's been almost 4 years. Since I have been in the group, I didn't start as an admin in the group. I have been close to the last 2 years. But since 2016, we have currently raised and donated $343,000 to different charities throughout the northern Kentucky area. We try to keep it local. One of our main go-tos is the Emergency Shelter of Northern Kentucky. They focus on helping homeless people. The director of the homeless shelter is a good friend of mine. We work directly hand in hand with her, and she has been able to, through charities, been able to pull the Pappy Van Winkle lineup every year for the last 3 years. So we focus that into our main fundraiser for the end of the year. This year, we're coming up. It's the weekend of December 4th. It's a Friday night. We've got it planned. We haven't set it up all yet. But last year's fundraiser, we brought home $35,000 from just a bunch of guys who drink bourbon, and did some raffles, did some different things to generate funds. And like I said, we do a lot of good things. It's a great bunch of guys. Obviously, we love picking barrels. We love drinking bourbon. We love getting together. But at the end of the day, the fundraising to me is what really sticks close to my heart, and it's what we love doing.
So absolutely, I will say, and I'm going to let you follow me here, Chase, but that is something that's super near and dear to our hearts at Bourbon Barrel Talk. Like, we did our 2 inaugural picks just recently with another distillery, just because of the fact that we were working with Southern Indiana, which is where 2 of us are actually live, through Bourbon Barrel Talk, and we love doing things for charity. You know, it's a huge thing.
There's nothing better.
It gives me a warm feeling in my heart and the warm and fuzzies in my stomach to know that I'm giving back to my community, not just what's going on local, like nationally, but locally. I'm able to give something back to people
in the community,
and that's a great opportunity for us to do that thing. That's super awesome that you guys at Juice Club are doing that.
Yeah, that's what we love, and you know, it's amazing. We just did a fundraiser this week. We ran it for 4 days. There's a local guy who put something together for kids who don't get fed, whatever the reason. I can't remember the exact reason, that there's just homeless kids with no food, and over a 4-day period, we raised just over 10 grand.
Dude,
that's amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and you know, we're 1,800 with all those people. If everybody donated, it'd be great, but we don't push people if you're not active.
I'm just curious,
you can't donate. But
did this barrel do any charity? I think Jake was saying.
Actually, every barrel we do, we take the price from what we're told it's going to cost. We try to throw in another $1 or $2, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 to, you know, get a nice pretty tater sticker on there. Everybody loves it. I don't. It's not my thing. I'm all about the juice inside. Whatever is on the label, I could care less. I'll take a plain bottle if the juice is good. But either way, we do a lot of things for that. But yes, this one pulled in a couple $100 on top of it. And Jake, we're donating this to.
So one of the guys that was supposed to be on the pick today, he got selected but wasn't able to go. His son has cancer, and it was a risk for him. You know, he can't be coming in and potentially getting COVID and then giving it to his son who's on chemo. So instead of him being able to come on the pick, we decided that instead of the money that we would have used to go towards the van to take us all here, transportation, we're going to take that money and be making a donation to Cincinnati Children's Hospital, where his son is being treated, in his son's name. So Yeah,
Dude,
and it's not
awesome.
Not a large number. You know, I said we're probably somewhere between $300 and $500. But for me, at the end of the day, it's not really about the amount. Obviously, you know, like I said, we gave $35,000 to the emergency shelter last year. I think
man.
The year before it was $38,000. So we've been in big numbers for those kind of things to hit that, you know, $343,000 we've donated over the last 4 years. But at the end of the day, it's just we want to continue the effort. And if it's 200 here or 300 there, it's the act of donating and the charity and the good doing that comes from, and not necessarily about the number. So obviously, I'd love to be able to give this family at Children's $18 million trillion. Somebody has it. We don't all have it, but whatever we can do to help out. There's always somebody out there who's got it worse than I do or than we do, and we're blessed, we're lucky, we get to drink a lot of damn good bourbon, and if we have one less pour or one less bottle, and that money goes towards helping somebody who needs it more than me having another drink, at the end of the day, it's a win.
That's perfect.
For
That's
sure.
perfect.
How we see
For
it.
sure.
All right, Miss Becca, we're going to let you bring this in.
Oh God, I have to bring this in. I don't
Absolutely,
even know
Miss Rebekah Sue.
where to.
Cheers, slam, and salute. Let's go.
Yeah, where do we even wait? Do we cheer? Okay, I need a drink for one thing.
Here, drink
I'm gonna need someone
if
for me.
anyone can get Willet Family Estate 4817 6-year high rye bourbon. Jeez, this bottle is crack.
Oh,
Here, we're gonna kill it. Wait, Jake needs some.
yeah,
Here you
get
go.
Jake some.
I've had plenty.
Give me a little sample.
All right. Is there any more
Should
bourbon
we do a
around
big
here?
old cheers here with everyone? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I
She's
think
done.
so. I think that do we all got a drink? Chase, come on. What are you doing?
Thanks.
Am
Shout
I-
out to Kevin for bringing this Batch 3 Old Carter.
By the way,
Batch
that
3
Batch
American
3 Old
whiskey.
Carter is amazing.
Dude, this
Right?
stuff slaps.
I'm gonna stick with
Okay.
the Elijah
Big shout
Craig
out to
barrel
Mark
proof.
and Sherry Carter for picking that barrel.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks
let's
for
just
doing
do
what
a
you're
big
doing.
cheers here to
Yeah.
Cheers, y'all.
Juice
Cheers.
Club donation,
Neeley Family Distillery.
Neeley Family, and Prohibition, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Rebekah. That's-
Cheers, guys.
Cheers and salute, brothers
Cheers
and
to Chase
sisters.
and PCS for having us.
Nostrovia.
De Breg.
Nostrovia.
Nostrovia. So if they want to reach or find the Juice Club, they can find you guys on Facebook.
I'm gonna go a big hard no on that. We are a private group.
Gotcha.
We
Very private.
keep it on the down low.
Am I in it yet?
No.
We're working on that, Jake. We're working on that. Chase. Oh, sorry,
I'm
not
Chase.
Jake. Chase.
You're gonna need some
Yeah, you know what?
supporters.
We keep it. We keep it on the down low. So we're not a public group. You can't find us on Facebook. If you search, you need to know somebody.
Gotcha.
To step in. So
Who knows somebody who knows somebody.
You know how it works. Welcome to 2020. It's not what you know to.
Wait,
now.
are we
I hear
talking
you,
about
brother.
whiskey here? Do we have to know someone?
You,
You gotta know someone.
You need to know someone, sir.
Do you have any
For
pappies?
sure.
What's that?
Do you got Blantons or Willers?
Any good?
I mean, I don't know.
What's a Blanton's?
Nobody knows what Blanton's is here.
For our
It's,
bus, buddy.
it's
Sorry.
the best toilet cleaner money can
Blanton's-
buy.
Blanton's straight from the barrel.
That stuff can clean a toilet.
Absolutely. So, hey, if you all are looking for Bourbon Barrel Talk, you can find us at Facebook. You can find us on Instagram or Twitter. Our Instagram handle is Bourbon Barrel T1. And then our Instagram, I believe our Twitter is actually Bourbon Barrel Talk. So if you are looking for us, Bourbon Barrel Talk, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or you can email us at bourbonbarreltalk@gmail.com. This is Scott Minton. I'm with my man, Chase Hazelbaker.
Yo, thanks for
Our
having
friend
us.
Jake from the NYC KY
and
Juice Club,
JY,
Mr.
Cincy, Juice
El
Club.
Jefe Jeff,
Cheers,
and Miss
brother.
Rebekah Sue from
Thanks for having
Neeley
us.
Family Distillery.
Hell yeah.
We are signing off. Thank you guys so much for having me join you guys on the pick. I greatly appreciate it. This is Bourbon Barrel Talk. We are signing off episode. Thanks.